Hey, you going, guys? So, I just thought I'd do a quick wee video on what's probably happening over the next wee while. I'm probably not going to be putting out as many videos, mainly because I applied for a job, or another one, because I haven't heard back from the first one, and they've still got a sign out saying they're wanting staff. But anyway, so I applied for another job. Hopefully, I hear in the next couple of days where I might have it. And obviously, I've been there for a wee while. I put that video up at the earlier in the week that we did the bushwalk after I was starting to come right. I was still a bit croaky in the throat and everything, but I'm pretty good. But the other thing is too, I've had a couple. Generally my health has been pretty good for years, but I'm now just turned 46, and I've had a couple of little niggly things that have been sort of worrying me for a while. I haven't got any major problems, but I need to do something about things. One is probably my weight. As you probably noticed, I'm a fairly big guy. I wouldn't say I'm morbidly obese or anything stupid like that, but I'm carrying quite a bit of extra weight that I probably shouldn't be. I'm about 262 pounds, or about 130 odd kilos, about over 130 kilos. Like quite a few years ago when I was doing a night shift, I was up to about 140, and then when I met my partner that I'm with now, I was down to about 119. But years and years and years ago, when I was a fairly fit and young, I was only I did an army course that was like a basic training sort of thing, and I was only like 82 kilos or about 180 pounds, and I sort of fluctuated around about there, between there and sort of 220 for a long time, but depending on what my job was, my weight would go way up and down. So like I probably could have had truck driving jobs till now, but I just I don't want to get back in a seat of a truck because my weight's not. I don't want to get really, really super heavy and then can't do anything about it. So I've decided that in the last few days, and we were trying to do it sort of just after the lockdown, sort of the initial lockdown, the COVID came along and they started closing all the countries down, and nobody was sort of working and kids are at school and stuff like that. We were doing quite a bit of exercise, and I'd lost a bit of weight and I was starting to get fitter again. But since everything's opened back up, I haven't sort of had the excuse of a young fella to go bike riding or walking or whatever quite so much. Maybe do the odd little whoop around the block with him at night and stuff. But yeah, my weight is just, because of my age now, it's starting to become a bit of a problem. And obviously I'm been having off and on bowel problems just for the last probably a year, I suppose. I've really started noticing it, so I've decided I really need to do something about it and get some weight off, get a bit more active and stuff like that. So I've been, the last few days, me and my partner have been doing the bushwalk that you've seen us do. We've done couple of bushwalks, so we're alternating between those to keep it so it doesn't get too boring. There's only so many times you can do something before it gets super boring like that, but it's a beautiful walks. One is quite a tough walk, and the other one's a bit more gentle, but it's got some good climbs in it, so it gets you working. So hopefully over the next while we'll lose some weight. But if I get this job, it's going to be quite hard to do videos and stuff. I'm still going to try and get content out, but my plan is after work, I still want to go try and do parts of these walks if possible, just to try and keep the exercise up over and above what I'm doing at work, because I want to try and get my weight down. I would like to get down to about 220 pounds or 100 kilos, or a bit less if possible. But that's my main aim. To be honest, I'm not actually worried about the weight figure, but it's the size and the fitness and all those sorts of things. But that's sort of like a borderline sort of weight that I would like to be, and everything else will just wrap around that, I guess. So my plans are for doing work on the Jag and anything else, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and leave Wednesday night free to me to do a couple of 3 hours out here. Basically, I'll video what I'm doing, and I'll make a video, and then I'll bang it up. And I might try and leave maybe Sunday, part of Sunday free, and do a bit more work and some filming and stuff like that. So that's the plan, because unfortunately we've basically, apart from the little bit that we're getting from the government, like all the money that we had to go to the States has just disappeared because we've had to use it to live, to buy extra stuff that we didn't have, because we basically came back with suitcases. We had a bit of gear here, but it was more material things, not stuff that we actually needed, like extra clothes and extra footwear and just general stuff that you need, you know. So we've had to sort of resupply ourselves again. So we just slowly whittled away all that money, and it's basically now it's gone. So we're just living on what we get supplemented from the government, and was sort of hoping that when we first came back here, before we sort of got really locked down with the COVID, that we would probably be in the States in 2 months once all those things had aligned, and then we were gone. But that didn't happen because of COVID, and then we sort of thought, oh, well, maybe, you know, another 2 or 3 months after that we might have got away, which would have been sort of like, what are we talking, June, July, sort of July, end of July, August, somewhere around about there. So I was sort of hoping that we might have got everything sorted and got over there, but that didn't happen either, because we're basically, you know, the borders aren't open, and they're sort of open, but they're not open, and it was like this visa stuff's just come to a sort of a grind, I suppose. We're trying to work out what we can do between ourselves and Arco, and Heidi. But it's like it's not easy stuff to figure out, and unfortunately it's sort of because their governments just sort of said, no, we're not sort of bringing in permanent residents. Like the visitors, I think, can still move around a bit, and people that are still, there actually are permanent residents and stuff like that, all live there and like to think can move around. But I just to try and get that new visa to work there and become a permanent resident, it's just not quite easy at the moment, because we never quite got the final ball, if you know what I mean. We had everything else but, and we were just waiting for that final ball to come so we could go, but COVID just screwed it. So hopefully, the plan is, if we can't get there in the next couple of months, we'll be there for their hopefully early in their spring, or, you know, right at the end of their winter, would we like to be, which would be basically the end of their summer here. So it'd be quite nice to have a 12-month summer, almost. So that's the plan. But hopefully that'll all come to fruition, because we can get all these things chopped off. But I don't want to be working for too long here if I can get away with it. That's sort of half by why I sort of stalled. I was sort of thinking, hopefully we want to get some of these cogs moving again, but it just sort of hasn't happened as easy as we'd hoped. And obviously COVID's just keep dragging out, so I've sort of had to bite the bullet and really start looking for work, because it's okay getting along what we're on, but now we've got no cash, surplus cash of any description. It's a real pain in the butt, but it's one of those things you got to do. So hopefully I'll know in the next day or two where I've got this other job. It's not really what I wanted to do, but go back into fitting tyres and all doing all that sort of stuff, because that's what I've done for the last few years, off and on between that and driving trucks. But hey, I know what I'm doing. I'll get in there and do it, and I'd hopefully get some money built up and see how we get on, and hopefully we can get these doors to start clicking again. And so but I'm hoping that I can try and get some content out for you. You'll probably be your Wednesday in America, or maybe Thursday by the time I get it edited and figure that out, in between trying to keep this walking stuff up through the bush and stuff like that, keep the fitness up. And yeah, probably a Sunday, Monday sort of type thing, I'll get another video up. Well, I don't think they're not going to be, well, I couldn't imagine them being any longer than sort of 15 or 20 minutes, depending on what I do and how much I need to sort of show. But I'll try and put bits and pieces up. And if there's any other tool reviews and bits and pieces that I might better sneak in at night or something like that, I might do the odd one of them as well. And then hopefully there'll be still some car shows. There's a couple of car shows going to be here shortly, in the next sort of month or so. So that'll be good. I think my mate Steve with the Yellow Chargers going to do some drag racing a little bit further up country. So hopefully I might be able to get a little thing into that as well, and go up there and maybe do a wee bit of filming there. So that'd be quite cool. There was meant to be drag racing down here a couple of weekends ago, but because of COVID they chopped it off again. So yeah, hopefully we can do some of those sort of things too and get a little bit extra content up on a weekend. But yeah, so I thought I'd just let you know what's going on, because I was doing a heap of work and getting a heap of sort of videos up quite regularly, but it's sort of stalled. But yeah, I need to concentrate on getting my health right, getting some work going, and I'll do bits and pieces of this what I can. So yeah, but anyway, hopefully I'll get some stuff up, and I'll try and keep some videos up, because I want to keep it going. And as I said, like, this might be the big calm before it turns into a big storm, and we just, it will be full time at doing this with Heidi and Arco in the States, and we'll work out once we get together and work out what content we're going to put where and whatever, and sort of throw things around. But yeah, so I hope you keep watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.